So basically, your video, what you're telling people is that because they discussed a more modern stand on homosexuality and such, that your deity actually created a tornado. And because this is what you're saying, you might as well go ahead and be literal about it instead of all the wannabe innuendo you got going there. Okay? That your God came down and created a tornado and ripped the roof off to show them that I'm all powerful and I can tear this building apart if you keep talking that way. Is that what it is? Because if you remember right, they went ahead and passed it. Yeah. In other words, your so-called God's what little madness, little outburst. God darn it, you're trying to me those homosexuals again. You better quit that and run and rip your roof off. You guys can't see how childish you are with your little fallacies and your little myths, and you yell about people not believing in magic, and yet you think the earth is 6,000 years old, and that your God created everything. Zap, zap, zap. Let there be light, and there was light. And you don't call that magic. That's miracles, which is where the word magic comes from. Doesn't that just kick your ass? Huh? You gotta hate that. Yeah, that the word miracle comes from magic. And there's a few other things too. You people are just so, it's just such an ignorant thing. You're going to actually leave their congregation. Call yourself a Lutheran. So what? Who cares? All that means is a guy named Luther decided that he didn't want to be a Catholic anymore, and then he wanted to be his own little Christian. And he wanted to be able to marry somebody. That's it. They saw that the Catholic religion was full of sexual frustration. They didn't want to have any part of it. So they split off. My mom was Lutheran for the last few years of her life, and wasn't any different than the Catholic Church, except y'all got wives. You guys get to have sex. You get to get your dicks in something. But then you like take these other Lutherans for wanting to accept human beings and Americans for the way they are, as opposed to the way you and your ilk want to think they are. You try to excommunicate them or something. You're pretty much alone about that, you know. I don't blame you for leaving the Catholics now, because all they are is Nazis in a dress. We know that, right? Come to think of it, some of them were Lutheran too, and y'all haven't excommunicated them either. What's up with that? Why haven't you Lutherans or Catholics ever excommunicated any of the Nazis? Any of them. You know what they did. Oh, unless you're an anti-Holocaust geek fool. Are you? No? It happened? Do you believe that? Do you believe that Nazi Germany was just a desperate, evil, nasty people on because of his own Christianity, Catholicism? Oh yeah, Hitler was a Catholic, not an atheist at all. No. Crazy? He'd have shut you down right there, and he'd have cut your throat right there in your boots, man. Called him an atheist. He was a big-time Catholic, which is why he was in cahoots with Ratzenberger and the rest during World War II. Anyway, I just want to say, y'all are going out. If you think you're supposed to be next to God, you're going about drawing business. Let's just stop it, okay? You sound stupid. And then you make your own video with these other guys laughing in the background because you sound stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, to call one religion worse than another, it's ridiculous. Okay? Because one worships rocks, and the other one worships shells, and the next one worships stars that are personified by human beings. Oh yeah, astrology. Right? Not astronomy. That's a science. Astrology. The idea that the constellations and the stars and the planets can actually have a physical force, action within your body and such doesn't happen. Yeah, so I pretty much believe in science, but there is other life in the universe. that's what we're going to work on now. That's what people, me and my friends are concentrating on. Getting more and more evidence. We're in contact. The rest of the world too will be within the next 10 to 20 years. You'll know. Okay? It's not a big deal. Your gods will go by the wayside. You'll realize that they were all based on the visitations by these different civilizations that we've been in contact with. And you'll say, no, not the Raelians and that kind of crap, New Age, beauty crystals. It's not like it. This is true corporeal entities that have been around for a long time. Where? Yeah. Remember Roswell? Yeah. Conspiracy theorists, we didn't start that. You know, all we did was go along with what the Army said. Yeah. The Army Air Corps, they're the ones that said, found flying disc in the Arizona desert, bodies, and all this shit. And then 2 days later, it turns into a weather balloon. You get it? Oh, see you later. Everybody else, take it easy. Bye now. I'm just an earthling. I just wanted to answer this guy. He's a priest. Yeah, I know. I don't know what the Lutherans do, but I have a feeling they're not much different. Except, well, no, they get to get married. They can have kids and stuff. So